You got to believe me, guys. I'm trying to diversify my content. Well, it is modern times. Diversify my content so it isn't so politically led, because, I mean, politics bores the life out of me at the best of times anyway. But it appears that it's the talking point. It appears that when it comes to clown planetary of ridiculousness and stupidity, and it basically affecting our entire lives to the point of us being crippled in on our knees. It's a big subject. So there's a few things that we need to cover off again, even with the few videos out already today. But I'll tell you what we'll do. Well, let's break it up. Let's talk about something other. Let's talk about another big subject. Yeah, let's pretend that we are in the post office queue, and let's have a little talk about the weather. The fleece is back on. It's still the summer, isn't it? And even though the fleece is back on, and we're caped in the cloud and drowned by the rain, I won't forget. I will not forget how hot it is, how hot it has been. Oh, yeah. How hot it has been for years now, as far back as I can remember. And every year is record heat. I won't forget that. And somehow I think that I'll be constantly reminded. Let's get on to some of the talking points that I mentioned there, shall we? One of them is still a lot of talk about the flags, guys. Okay, a lot of talk about flags still. The flags, the symbol, the representation thing you might see flying in the wind is still a talking point, big one.
Over the summer, one of the things we've seen an awful lot of is people putting up flags, St George's flags, Union Jacks. It sparked such a debate on Five Live. Some people say it's patriotic, some people say it's racist. Which is it?
I'm a supporter of flags.
You are sitting with one, you've got a Union Jack behind you.
I've got one behind me. Are you
a supporter of people painting roundabouts and hanging them from lampposts?
Look, I'm the leader of the Labour Party who puts the Union Jack on our Labour Party membership cards. I always sit in front of a Union Jack. I've been doing it for years, and it attracted a lot of comment when I started doing it. And in our flat, which is upstairs from here, as you know, we've got the St George's flag in our flat.
So you're encouraging people to put up more flags?
I'm very encouraging of flags. I think they're patriotic. And I think they're a great symbol of our nation. Mm-hmm. I don't think they should be devalued and belittled, and I think sometimes when they're used purely for divisive purposes, it actually devalues the flag. I don't want to see that. I'm proud of our flag. I sit in front of our flag, and I'm very, very proud to do so.
Proud to do so. I'm getting free speech vibes. Remember he said he's proud that we have free speech, kind of getting them vibes a little bit. I think, when it comes to a flag, it's quite funny though, isn't it? Because, I mean, other countries, when it comes to their flag, lots of other countries, lots of examples that there doesn't appear to be many problems with talking points that need to happen like this. And of course they shouldn't. But when it comes to the red lines and the Union Jacks, well, it creates a wee bit of a debate for some reason, and it's good to hear that we've got a fan. However, I mean, just recently, you probably heard, there was a lady, I believe her name is Sarah. Something to do with reform as well, I believe. Again, hey, look, I covered this stuff. I try and find out what I need to find out to an extent, to the point where it doesn't rot my freaking brain. All right? So if you want to find out extra information, it's completely up to you. You probably already know. You may even know more than I do. Great. But, there's boundaries, and I think that you have to kind of keep those boundaries to keep your brain from rotting. But generally, what I heard from this is that this lady got arrested. I'm sure this. I'm sure there's always more to the story, isn't there? But the long and short of it was that she was holding the flag, holding the Union Jack, wasn't she? And it sounds like she was is a fan of the flag. I wonder if it's as much as Keir. Based on that speech, we don't know at this point. I think Keir is as big a fan of the flag as he is free speech.
Is it the government's view, then, that asylum seekers should be housed in £300,000 luxury townhouses in Suffolk?
No, we want people to be in more appropriate accommodation and also
well,
more
that's fantastically appropriate. I'd love a £300,000 townhouse in Suffolk. What? And these are brand new. Why do asylum seekers qualify for those and not indigenous homeless people?
It's a great question to the Home Secretary. Let's see how she answers it. Let's also add at this point as well that these new build homes, en suites, underfloor heating, all the mod cons.
So that's why we need to reduce the overall size of the asylum system so that we have fewer people in asylum accommodation in the first place. It's why we're making changes to the family reunion arrangements, for example. It's why we're making these changes on students as well. We need fewer people in the asylum system so we don't have people in costly accommodation that is being funded by the taxpayer for long periods of time.
He keeps trying to butt in. I've got the ability, the great ability right now of a pause button. He hasn't, but he does. You can hear he does try and keep on in. And I'll tell you why. This goes on for about another 30 seconds, and it's absolutely incredible how somebody can be asked a question and not actually answer it.
The system that we inherited was broken, so it does require a whole series of different reforms. A lot of those reforms are underway, and we're going to be setting out another phase of new, further reforms, including on the appeals system, so that we're already cutting the costs, so we're saving £1 billion already this year. Yeah. Remember, under the previous government, I was on like about 9 million.
Yeah, and this is, you know how it goes. The general theme, and this is what I was talking about, boundaries and brain rot. The general theme is it was everybody else's fault. And when it comes to actually answering a question, skirt around. And the actual original question was, why are these people getting these places rather than people who have needed it probably for a long time, who freaking live here for a long time, lived here for a long time? You're not going to get any frigging out. It doesn't appear you're going to get any answers. And now the latest talk as well is that they're talking about putting them, I suppose it's slightly better than 300k new builds, but they're talking about putting them in warehouses now as well. I don't know if you've heard about that one. But it's a bit of a NIMBY situation that we have on our hands, isn't it, guys? Yeah, that's a term that I recently came across. If you've not heard of it, NIMBY, not in my backyard. As I mentioned, they're talking about warehouses. Lots of people have been experiencing the visitors. Should we call them that now? I've said, the different terms. Let's go with party poopers again, because visitors implies that there's a sort of back and forth. NIMBYs. Lots of people have experienced, the hotel situations up and down the country. But when there's talk of things like warehouses and new builds with the en-suites and underfloor heating, imagining it on a more widespread scenario, for many people, it's more than a concern. And it's almost like that this subject is certainly ongoing. Ta-ta.